बाबू के डैडी को छीन ढूंढ के बाहर निकालना है।
अगर पुलिस को खबर की तो उसके पैर तोड़ के
आंखें निकाल के
好但也不算快。
他妈的我进门，我看到没有人呢，看门进去，他突然出现在我身后，我操，这不是你们存在，这个怪物。哎，出门就遇到挂，我狗一点，我操，往这里跳吧。妈死在挂手里就很憋屈，我。
Enough, Ibra, enough alpha male machismo. Let's talk about the man who is the opposite of the macho alpha male. That would be the large insect-like figure of Thomas Tuchel. Monday we talked about how Lampard was dismissed. We've all written about it. We've all given reasons. We've all given reasons about why Tuchel came in. He made his debut, and he draws 0-0 at home with Wolves. He himself said, hey, I just had one training session. Anything you want to, any conclusions you want to draw from this game?
So, I mean, one, Wolves at home for a first game, considering the run that they've been on and that they were going to come to defend and
park the bus,
and the bus and the double-decker bus, everything you want, was not a great gift, but you know, it doesn't decide that. I had a message in the afternoon saying, what they saw on training on Tuesday night, the only training session, as you mentioned, is going to change a few things. You see the tactics is going to be different. It was indeed that 3-4-3. And do you remember, finally, we made a joke and we said, maybe he will play a bit like what Peter Bosch did with Havertz and Leverkusen, the 3-4-3,
the magic box.
The 2 number 10, the magic box behind the striker, etc. It was not exactly that, but certainly there was a...
All right, let's just describe this for people who might not know what you're talking about, because you're talking about essentially 2 central midfielders, and it was Jorginho and Kovacic, no Mason Mount, and then effectively 2 attacking midfielders or number 10s or whatever you want to call them, who were Kai Havertz and Hakim Ziyech, right?
Yeah.
This was the Peter Bosz prescription.
Yes, it's very much that.
I kind of feel like I'm not going to judge it. The Chelsea report, Chelsea didn't really create that many clear-cut chances. They had stupid amounts of possession, but that's also fine because Nuno Espirito Santo has his injury. So, play the 8-0-2 formation, whatever. Do we have any indication this is something he'll do again?
So I think it was more for this game. But I think he can come back. I think we will see a lot of flexibility. For sure, I think it might be a very different formation against Burnley, both in the tactical formation and also the personnel. At the weekend, I know he's a big fan of N'Golo Kante, so I've got no doubt that Kante, whenever he's fit or ready to go, even if he's not fully 100%, will come back into this team. For Jorginho or Kovacic, I don't know which one, but we also know that Tuchel likes Jorginho. And Jorginho yesterday played straight in and had all those passes, and it was.
All right, I got to say about this. Okay, so
全死亡。
Jorginho has a certain very specific image here in
最开始
England,
录那
right?
个不知道跑哪去了。
Where people say he's soft, people say he just passes the ball sideways all the time.
Yeah.
It comes from when he arrived with Sarri. My friend, who works in the world of data and analytics, made the point. Basically, he tweeted this, said like, should we tell Chelsea fans that Tuchel is basically an upgraded version of Sarri? And this is what they're going to get, Sarri ball. In other words, pressing high and possession and just a lot of the ball and a lot of passes waiting for the right moment. Because honestly, I don't know why. I don't know if Jorginho has body odor or something, but even last night, like I was watching the highlights on the BBC after the game, and first thing guy says like, "Oh, look, people will be surprised to see Jorginho in there." And next thing I imagine like, "Oh, he's just a big turd who's worthless," right? I honestly like But this is one of Tuchel's ideas. Yeah,
it is it's part of his plan, 100% for sure. He certainly feels he needs someone like that, and I was not surprised to see Jorginho back in the team, as we said, like Rudiger and Thiago Silva, and even Azpilicueta to a certain extent. But again, he will have other options. He will have other plans. This is someone who could be very flexible, who is very, very good tactically. But he saw in Hudson-Odoi someone who could play that wing back role.
The Reece James role.
Yeah, let's see if he could develop into really that kind of player. But again, I think we will see different position, different plans, different ideas.
Just to wrap this, I think one point that I want to make is all this is different in terms of how Tuchel is going to be approached because there's no fans in the stands. There was a big banner outside Stamford Bridge. Was it "The Circus Continues"? Something like that. Lampard was very popular with a large part of the... Do you think this is going to impact Tuchel? How do you think it's going to impact?
From what I was told, he doesn't think about it at all. I mean, he saw Chelsea and the Lampard play many times. He's watched all the recent games prior to the game.
But will it impact the players?
I don't know. I think he's intelligent enough to know that some of the players were really close to Lampard, others not at all, and that he will have to be very clever in the way he will approach this dressing room and deal with all of them. But I think he can do it. That's not a worry I have.
Stay tuned.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.
Thomas Tuchel oversaw his first game in charge as Chelsea head coach last night. It was a 0-0 draw with Wolves. He's just been speaking to the media for the first time since he joined the club this week. Here he is.
Why Chelsea?
Why not? I mean, it was the opportunity. There's one of the biggest clubs in the world, in the most competitive league of the world. It was the moment, and it felt like we should absolutely not miss the chance to be part of the Chelsea family and to compete for titles with the best managers and the best teams. So that was a pretty easy choice.
Does it concern you at all the club's reputation for getting rid of managers quite quickly?
Yes and no, but on this level where I'm absolutely grateful that I can work on this level, it's like this. If you sign in for Chelsea, you sign in for the hunger of titles. You sign in for being absolutely competitive in every competition you play. I'm totally aware of that. It is like you said, but it does not scare me. We have big ambition. Me myself, I have biggest ambitions. I'm very excited about the mixture of the team. I'm very excited about the structure of the club, and the first days were amazing. And I'm absolutely aware that at some point everybody expects results, but honestly, I'm doing that of myself all the time.
You're extremely experienced. You've won many things. You seem like a nice guy. Are you concerned at all that there might be a fan backlash, because Frank Lampard is obviously a legend at the club?
Yeah. A fan backlash, I don't know. I hope not, because that would be hard on the team, because we need our supporters like any team, and in a stadium like ours, and in a club like ours, like Chelsea, to have the fans so close and so close behind the team, it makes really the difference. I can absolutely assume that it's a big disappointment for the fan base to see that Frank was sacked. I have, I said this in the first statement, and I can only repeat, I have the biggest respect. I was a huge fan of Frank as a player. It was a pure joy to watch him play and to see him, how he played, with what personality he played. He was one of the key figures to demonstrate in 90 minutes what Chelsea is about intensity, about devotion, about winning mentality. And so I have the biggest respect for him personally and for his legacy. It just got bigger when I received a message today in the morning, and to a personal message to wish me all the best, and maybe meet in the future when this is possible. So honestly, nothing has changed there. But in the last 72 hours, the club made clear to me that this is not my fault, clearly not my fault, and I cannot change the situation for him. This was the decision was made, and I was handed the opportunity. But I mean what I say, like before.
Just a final question from me, if I may. Obviously, there's a little bit of a time to go now before the transfer window closes on Monday evening. From what you've seen so far, are there any gaps that you need to fill in the squad?
No, and it's hard to judge for me right now, because we have now 1 game, 2 training sessions. I'm very happy with what I see so far, with both trainings and the game yesterday, the performance, the attitude, and the talent and potential. I think we have, the squad is not too big. Right now we have N'Golo Kante came back today, so we have 22 players plus the goalkeepers. That is, regarding our program with 3 competitions, absolutely not too much. I have the feeling that right now is the guys deserve to be trusted, and I want to trust everybody. If a possibility comes along that we all agree on making us stronger right away, and okay, we will not hesitate, I'm sure, but it's not like we have the absolute need to do something. Absolutely not.
So Thomas Tuchel there, in answer that was interesting. Michael always says, fans like that never say never. At the end he said, give the players a chance, but if something comes up, it's going to improve them now, they can do it.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because he had 1 training session, and yet he made an imprint on that Chelsea team last night, didn't he? So give him a couple more training sessions and he may see a player that may fit into his system. You look at what he did last night, 79% possession and 820 passes. That's the most from any team on a managerial debut in the history of the Premier League.
Chelsea's account have actually just tweeted that.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, what point was do my research then?
I saw you typing away. So, and what was quite nice, I mean, it's not transfer related, Michael, but Frank Lampard text Thomas Tuchel this morning saying that he hopes to meet up with him sometime and stuff, and that's, I think, shows a bit of class, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Frank Lampard, he's not going to walk away from football forever. It was his dream job, and people say it came a bit early. Who would turn down a dream job? He'll be back, of course. He did it very well at Derby. He did excellent, I think, for Chelsea last season. I'm sure he'll be back. But you look at the table here, they're 8th, 30 points. Look at the league table. Leicester 3rd, West Ham 4th. It's so open this season.
If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be really happy to hear what Thomas Tuchel was saying. I thought he spoke with clarity and he spoke with confidence. Talked about titles. Now, yes, Chelsea are only 8th, but he knows the hire and fire culture at Chelsea, but he's clearly backing himself to be able to take this team back up to the top of the table. He had a good run at Dortmund. He obviously won things at Paris Saint-Germain. So he's coming in with a winner's mentality, isn't he? He's not going to take this challenge lightly.
He did say, didn't he, about how improving the players that are already there, and that was maybe a downfall of Frank Lampard, that the big signings like Werner and Havertz haven't hit the ground just yet.
but he didn't play Werner, did he, in the match against Wolves? So, you know, he just because the same nationality or they know each other from the same league, you can't just go in and just change them. That's the job he's got. This is what's going to be interesting, the team selection over the next few games. Mason Mount, captain one game, on the bench the next. What does he do with Tammy Abraham? You know, they were incredibly close to Frank Lampard and Jody Morris, so how are they going to cope going forward? Reece James, it was a very different side the other night. No, it's very, very, very intriguing.
Thomas, thank you. Now, why Chelsea?
Why not? It was the opportunity. It's one of the biggest clubs in the world, in the most competitive league of the world. It was the moment, and it felt like we should absolutely not miss the chance to be part of the Chelsea family and to compete for titles with the best managers and the best teams. So that was a pretty easy choice.
Does it concern you at all the club's reputation for getting rid of managers quite quickly?
Yes and no, but on this level where I'm absolutely grateful that I can work on this level, it's like this. If you sign in for Chelsea, you sign in for the hunger of titles, you sign in for being absolutely competitive in every competition you play. I'm totally aware of that. It is like you said, but it does not scare me. We have big ambition. Me, myself, I have biggest ambitions. I'm very excited about the mixture of the team. I'm very excited about the structure of the club, and the first days were amazing. I'm absolutely aware that at some point everybody expects results, but honestly, I'm doing that of myself all the time.
You're an extremely experienced coach. You've won many things. You seem like a nice guy. Are you concerned at all that there might be a fan backlash, because Frank Lampard is obviously a legend at the club?
Yeah, a fan backlash, I don't know. I hope not, because that would be hard on the team. In a stadium like ours and in a club like ours, like so close and so close behind the team, it makes really the difference. I can absolutely assume that it's a big disappointment for the fan base to see that Frank
有了，这里面还有个三巨头啊，这里面三巨甲、三巨头全部都在。
I said this in the first statement, and I can only repeat. I have the biggest respect. I was a huge fan of Frank as a player. To watch him play and to see him how he played, with what personality he played. He was one of the key figures to demonstrate in 90 minutes what Chelsea is about intensity, about devotion, about winning mentality. And so I have the biggest respect for him personally and for his legacy. It just got bigger when I received a message today in the morning, and to a personal message to wish me all the best and maybe meet in the future when this is possible. So honestly, nothing has changed there, but in the last 72 hours the club made clear to me that this is not my fault, clearly not my fault, and I cannot change the situation for him, as this was the decision was made and I was handed the opportunity. But I mean what I say, like before.
Just a final question from me, if I may. Obviously, there's a little bit of a time to go now before the transfer window closes on Monday evening. From what you've seen so far, are there any gaps that you need to fill in the squad?
No, and it's hard to judge for me right now because we have now 1 game, 2 training sessions. I'm very happy with what I see so far with both trainings and the game yesterday, the performance, the attitude and the talent and potential. I think we have, the squad is not too big. Right now we have N'Golo Kante came back today, so we have 22 players plus the goalkeepers. That is, regarding our program with 3 competitions, absolutely not too much. I have the feeling that right now is, the guys deserve to be trusted, and I want to trust everybody.
哎，你跑什么呀？回头打我操！
我们 all agree on making us stronger right away.
所以在你们面前，他打我，你打他嘛。
I'm sure, but it's not like we have.
我在后面，你回去了，我家去。
唉，差点就在你眼前，我被他我操连杀带捕逃跑。
他先打到我，你又回去了，我这是一点点血了。
我先倒的，
我先倒的好不好？
你先倒的，
你又回去了，他不打了你吗？你不倒了吗？
翻你口子里。
Well, in the end, and the club makes this very clear, in the end at Chelsea it is about results. It is about results for us as managers. We always try to bring in performance, to bring in like develop players, to improve players, to increase their value, like also as seen as strong performances. And but in the end, like I said, I'm very realistic. I'm in a club whose DNA it is to win and to win, go for trophies, and I'm here to challenge every trophy we play for in the competitions, and that means that, yeah, realistically, this year it's the Champions League and it's the FA Cup. To speak now about the Premier League title is there are too many teams in between us. This is not realistic, and we will just lose the focus if we start here. But you know, our job is also about relations in the club, and relations, of course, with the team, and to push everybody to the limit. And success is also to make the stadium happy. People should be excited to come to Stamford Bridge. People should be excited to watch our team. People should be excited and feel that the team plays with a special kind of energy and atmosphere. These are also the soft points of success. But in the end, we don't need to talk around a lot. At Chelsea, you play for trophies and titles.
Do you think it's coincidence that you're German and that Chelsea need to get the best out of Timo Werner and Kai Havertz? Or am I being very cynical if I sit here and say that's one of the reasons why you were chosen, because Christian Pulisic, but mainly those two?
Yeah, hopefully they talked. If it's like this, then that means they talked good about me, no? I'm not sure, but maybe it was not the biggest disadvantage in this moment. Maybe is that people can rely on that. I love to work with young guys. I love to work with guys from the academy, and we have a lot of Chelsea boys here in this squad, and we will push them to the limits.
Head towards the mark.
Yeah, but it was, like I said also yesterday, it was a bit strange. I step up for the first time in the middle of a season, one day before a match, and you do the first meeting, and you already know 4, 5, 6, 7 players. Because
head
of
towards
course
the mark.
Maybe they're German, maybe I have worked already with them or at least spoken with them. So that made it a bit easier for me, but hopefully there were some other reasons than just my nationality to be coach now.
No.
Oh, you're really digging deep, huh? No, I just yeah. No, but I want to be very honest, because we played the
hacker.
Everybody there was friendly, and I just explained. When I was match live on the TV. There was no daily match live from Bundesliga. So what I could actually see was 1-2 minutes every 4 weeks.
他这进防
And
区啊，
suddenly a
进
club
防
like
区啊，有
Tottenham
外
Hotspur
挂，
came
我操！
across in our
他就进防那里面，就能踢那里。
sports broadcaster once every 4 weeks. So suddenly I heard the name Tottenham Hotspurs, which was very sounded like a big adventure, and gave me a big advantage on playing with my friends because they had no idea where that club was. So, and I talked about that story, and I was young and needed the money. Huh?
Don't rush.
I was young, but.
Don't rush.
That was one of my first experiences. I did not even know that
Hey,
it's a
hey.
club from London.
Hey, come
But now I
in room, come in room.
That I work for the big rivals, and you can be very sure that we will do everything to beat them next week.
Follow me, here. Number two, here. Follow me.
Yeah, big challenge because it is like you say, and we miss the supporters and we miss the energy. But it's not only the supporters that we miss. We miss also, for me, it's crucial to create
Number one, come here. Number one, come here.
Bond on a daily basis here at Cobham Training Ground in the dressing room. But due to the COVID situation, we have a social distancing rule here. So at the moment we're using three changing rooms for our team. We cannot be in the gym or everybody together at the same time. We have to, and for me we cannot do the biggest celebrations in training when we do a 6 against 6. And all these little details that you maybe normally don't talk about and don't think about, they make the difference. Like also, they can make the difference to create a certain bond and a certain glue between the players, and to create an atmosphere that you step into a dressing room and that you can really feel it, and they are choking with each other and they bond with each other and they are like arguing with each other. That does simply not exist. And at the same time, of course, the biggest impact are the empty stadiums. And then, like you said, everybody is like, it affects everybody also on a personal level. So some players are a bit more scared than the others, more worried about parents, about grandparents. This is a huge thing to deal. And and we deal on this now and in the middle of the season. Yeah, but at the same time, like I said, there was no time to overthink it, and maybe that was good. And the outview on to be part of this adventure was too positive, and I was too hungry to hesitate. But it's a big challenge for sure.
One more, please, Tom. I think I'm right saying that you know Pep Guardiola reasonably well. Have you spoken to him at all about the Premier League, about the challenges that might throw up? Because I think of all the leagues in Europe, this is the one where everybody seems to be able to beat each other.
Yeah, I spoke with Pep since he works here. I followed the Premier League very closely from Germany and from France. This is absolutely clear because this is the benefit of leagues. We could see yesterday on a physical level, on athleticism and devotion, and a completely different that we are used to. I love it because it brings out the coaches. I love it because it brings out in our players. I truly believe in that. And for me personally, this is something to step up and to compete against the best coaches in the world brings out the best in me.
Hack.
Be ready for that, and I'm very positive about it, and it's a big challenge.
You made 3 changes to the game against Wolves, and you brought experienced players, Giroud, Hassel, Besser, and Jorginho to start. I wondered whether fans should
that was, first of all, it was a totally unfair lineup. Who did not start. I had no reason why they did not start, because everybody deserved, because we one training before was excellent. So I made the choices for a little bit more experience, because I thought that if a club like Chelsea changes the coach in the middle of the season, a new coach steps in one day before the game, it's the 9th place, there are a lot of teams. I did not know how it affected the young players. I opted for a bit more experience tomorrow, and to put this weight and responsibility on the shoulders of the more experienced players. Not of any trust issues, and if you know my reputation and if my last clubs, I will push every youngster to be ready. And what I saw also today in training from the guys who did not play, I have absolutely zero doubts that we have 21 players who are absolutely ready to play for Chelsea in Premier League and win games for us. Nobody should read too much into this. We have to. This is like we have to get known to each other, and we have to do this in the middle of a season, and so that was the reason. But
他们人在哪啊？我操！
Hi Thomas, thanks for your time. You said great news that N'Golo Kante's fit. You spoke briefly last night about how excited you are to work with him. Where do you played in loads of different roles in the midfield, and you seem to fulfil them all well. But where do you think you'll you best?
I think he's the strongest center part of the game. Gives him a little bit more freedom than number 6, what he can do. But I like his strength is not to be to care. No, turn it around. For me, he's a double 6 because he can use. We can use his range, his volume in balls everywhere on the pitch. For me, he's a guy who is a big helper for everybody, with a big potential, with a mentality of but at the same time a world-class player who played a crucial role in the World Cup win for France, and that's why it's super important to have him. And for me, the double 6 is the best role for him, because it gives him a bit more freedom than he plays the single 6, which demands a bit more discipline on the position and swing a little bit. But I'm sure he could also play there.
Okay, we've got time for 2 more in this section, then we're going to move on to the daily. Carrie, one question for you, we'll go to Raphael from Germany Sky.
Hi Thomas, Carrie here from BN Sports. I have to ask you 2 questions. Just to follow up from Lindsay's question, your assurance to fans then that the academy players that Frank has showed such faith in won't be punished. You know, Mason Mount was captain in the match before it started in the last 10, creating more chances than any other player. There's some concern. We know it's not, but it was a punishment. Of course, we know when it's not. And I'd like to get your opinion on Billy Gilmore, because we know how he's known in defensive midfield, the Verratti style play. Everyone knows the player and concerns he could go out on loan. Your assessment of all that, please.
Of Mason and Billy.
Yeah. And why you chose the
It was just I wanted like I said, I can only repeat, I wanted to take Of course, when I told them they are absolutely sure they can handle the weight. No trust issue. But I wanted to give the
还有2个人是挂他们开的那个车，然后他们在什么地方呢？我跟你说啊，在地下面。对，都在地下面吃。完了怎么办呢？你站在正中间，不要管东西。
From the bench, there is nothing to worry about. I like what I see from Mason so far, from his personality that I get to know now since 3 days.
我操，刚才那4个人啊，在上面对着你们开枪，我操，我是在旁边啊绕过去，然后40发子弹对着他们4个人站一排，我就嘟，我操，扫倒了3个，有一个是倒的，直接4个人死光。
He gives the 100% he has every time he plays, and this is the best basis
他们就开着车在那个
for a big development, and I'm very, very happy to have him around, and I will not stop pushing him, I will not stop guiding him, and I will not stop trusting him. This is absolutely nothing to worry about. For Billy, the same in a different personal moment for him, because he didn't play the biggest role like Mason did in the last week. So maybe the decision yesterday for Mason was the toughest, and we spoke about this in person. And for Billy, I have a good impression. He's a very
等一下这个圈就会越缩越小，越缩越小。
包在哪里来着？我这盛饮料，我操！
到处都是包啊，满地都是包啊，这里。然后我跟你讲啊，你站到正中间，然后速度缩过来，这个赶紧打血。如果打得过来的话，就会拼血。
We will see that, but he is super quick, he is super fast with his feet,
还有一
super
个
fast in decision making, and very good in For me, we have right now 22 field players available, play in 3 competition. There is absolutely no need that we have to get rid of players.
Last question in this section, Raphael from Sky Germany.
Hallo Thomas.
Hallo.
Thomas,
Danke.
in welcher physischen und psychischen Verfassung haben Sie die Mannschaft am Dienstag vorgefunden? Und dann anschließend, welche Erkenntnisse konnten Sie seitdem gewinnen, auch in Hinsicht auf Ihre Pläne für Teamerwärmung?
Physische, das was man physisch sieht, hat ja oft auch seine Ursachen im psychischen, von allen Werten fit ist, aber nicht zeigen kann, gehemmt wird oder nicht fit.
我跟那个谁，我跟2号就碰到过这种情况，他其实是开着吃翻到了地底下，你一刷过来他就死，
他能出来？
还可以出来，应该是出不来吧？能出来他肯定出来撞死我们的，他为什么待在下面呢？是不是？
Weil wir sehr, sehr intensiv und sehr aggressiv nach vorne verteidigt haben. Wir waren über 90 Minuten immer im
反正这个毒一刷，我都解死了。我靠，刷毒了！
Darüber habe ich mich sehr gefreut und damit war ich sehr zufrieden, auch wenn wir so im allerletzten Pass und im vorletzten Pass auf jeden Fall noch Luft nach oben haben, aber das war sehr, sehr gut. Für die Bläder mit Timo ist natürlich klar, der ein bisschen leidet, ein bisschen hart, er an allererster Stelle, und ich glaube, das Wichtigste ist, jeder Spieler unterschiedlich ist, aber so wie ich Timo kenne und ihn jetzt natürlich noch besser kennenlerne, ich glaube, er braucht jetzt einfach viel Zuspruch, viel Vertrauen in seine Qualität, und wir brauchen auch eine gute Position für ihn, dass er so ein bisschen zwischen dem linken Flügel und zwischen dem Mittelstürmer in der letzten Linie spielen kann, dass wir ihn dort in Geschwindigkeit hinter die letzte Linie bringen. Und dafür braucht er einfach auch wieder Zutrauen und ein Lächeln und dass er sich das alles nicht zu sehr zu Herzen nimmt, dass er selber nicht trifft. Und er hat noch einen Elfmeter jetzt leider verschossen im letzten Pokalspiel. Das hilft dann natürlich auch nicht. Die Stürmer sind sensibel und brauchen Erfolgserlebnisse. Aber die Mannschaft war sehr offen, sehr positiv. Ich habe das gestern auch bei den Kollegen erwähnt. Die Jungs, die von der Bank kamen, hatten einen sehr, sehr guten Input in unser Spiel. Die Jungs, die auch auf der Tribüne sitzen geblieben sind, ich habe sie einfach immer gehört, bei jeder Torchance, bei jedem Zweikampf mitcoachen. Die haben mitgecoacht, die haben mitgefiebert. Das ist ja so simpel es sich anhört, das ist halt das, was du brauchst. Wenn alle nur hinten auf der Tribüne sitzen und hoffen, dass der auf der Position schlecht spielt, dann wird es nicht funktionieren. sondern wir müssen das auf jeden Fall herstellen, dass das jeder möchte, weil er weiß, wenn wir die Ergebnisse haben, wenn alle gut spielen, geht es jedem Einzelnen auch besser. Aber das sind wir gewohnt, auch auf einer täglichen Basis und wie wir miteinander umgehen und wie wir miteinander trainieren, herzustellen. Aber es ist alles sehr, sehr schwer, weil wir gerade in drei Umkleidekabinen uns umziehen. Im Stadion sind wir in 3 Umkleidekabinen. So das, was du eigentlich möchtest und zumal der Klebstoff entsteht, das hast du alles nicht. Und dann am Ende gehst du noch in ein leeres Stadion. So, deshalb ist alles ein bisschen erschwert, aber am Ende kein Problem, weil wir sind auf dem Platz zusammen und das macht extrem viel Spaß.
Hey!
I've booked us tickets to the concert.
Great, thanks. How do you know?